Flosstube. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch. My name is Cameron and I go by Cam the Stitcher on Instagram and Flosstube. Today I'm going to attempt to film a WIP parade. I don't know exactly how many WIPs I have. I feel like when I go through some of these, I'm gonna be like, do I need to restart some of these? Do I need to UFO some of these? I don't know. We will see. It'll be a journey for sure. So I have them all in a pile next to me. And I'm gonna go in order of when I started them. So my oldest WIP to my newest WIP. Some of these, I did have a new start since my last, I think I'm gonna film another Flosstube episode to post before this, so that, because I have like some updates on things and haul and whatnot. So, but today I am just gonna go through my WIPs. I don't even know, like, strap in, get a drink, get your stitching ready. I'm gonna go as quickly as I possibly can. I don't want to, like, I don't know. I do have a lot. Okay. So I guess warning, I think it's like, I definitely think I have over 50 WIPs. So yeah, that hurts to say, but it's fine. So just for context, because some of you might be finding me for the first time, I started stitching in like 2014. When I was in college, my mom taught me how to do it, but she had only done like, you know, precious moments, like patterns and like 14 count Ada, very like, she didn't get that into it. It was just kind of like a hobby that she had for a bit. And so I picked up like a couple of, you know, kits you can find at big box stores, started with that. And then last year around this time, in December of like 21, I started to get really into cross stitch, and I found Flosstube and found Etsy cross stitch patterns, and just I went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I'm gonna start with my first WIP, and most of them are not in bags, so I apologize for the zippered sounds and crinkling. You know, I had to do it to him, one of these Amazon bags. These are really nice to have. Anyways, okay, so my first WIP. I started this, and I don't have an exact date, but I think I started this around 2016, possibly. I found this kit at a Goodwill. It's a sunset kit, which could have, I don't know if that's like, I don't know. Anyways, it's an old school kit, and it's called the James Younger Gang, and I will put a picture, because I don't have the cover page anymore, unfortunately, but I will put a picture up here of what it's supposed to look like. Here are my really messy flosses. You know what? I mean, what do you expect when it comes like this? It's rough. But anyways, also this pattern's really hard to read because they use the same symbol, but in a different color to represent different colors, if that makes sense. So what I ended up having to do is on this, I had to write the symbol like in the color, because there's blue symbols, there's black symbols, and there's pink symbols, but they use the same little thing, which is dumb, but I'm sure they've lived and they've learned. I don't know. So I'm pretty sure this pattern is also from, yep, 1997. So this is my start on this. I probably have only worked like a couple of days on this. This is definitely, I think, 14 count Ada that came in the kit. So everything was in the kit when I found it. And it's gonna be like long, but if you could see in the picture, there's some background words. I don't think I'm gonna stitch. I do want to keep stitching this, like, as hard as it is to stitch. But I want some cat cowboy. I call this my cat cowboys pattern. But yeah. So I have this guy mostly done. I need to finish up his hat and little feet and his tail and stuff. But this is like the start of another cat, you can tell. And same here. But yeah, so that is my oldest WIP. I do have this on my WIP go for next year. And I think in my next Flosstube that I put out, not this one, I will talk a little bit more about plans for next year. But yeah, so that was my oldest WIP. The next WIP I started in June, June 20th of 2021. This was a Luca-S kit. I don't remember what it's called. I think I just call it Village Landscape or something like that, but I don't know if that's the actual name. I got this off Etsy as a kit. And yeah, this is done on 16 count ivory Aida, and I'm gonna warn you now, it is so dirty. I used to take this to my old job when I worked in an office, and I don't know, I guess just toting it back and forth. So yeah, you'll notice that it is almost done. And you're probably thinking, why don't you just literally finish that? And that's a great question. So I was monogamous on this for months, so from June until really end of December of 21. It's so dirty. I don't know what to tell you, but I literally just have to finish out this tree, the little slice of this house and some sky, and I'm done. And like the sky is definitely just mostly half stitches, so it's very doable and I could very well get this done. This is on my WIP go for a finish. I just need to force myself to do it, but yeah, so this is kind of how I started. Cross stitching was like these fuller, once I got more into it, I started getting those like full coverage dimensions kits and things. So that's because that's what I was comfortable with and it was fun, but I haven't worked on that in a while. So. But that could definitely be a finish. Okay, this next WIP I started December 10th of 2021. This is kind of what started it all. This is what made me find Flosstube and all those things, because this is another full coverage. I don't think this designer's, I also don't know about this pattern, so I can't recommend it, but I got this from Etsy. It is full coverage and it's, I don't know the name. I think it's just Nightmare Before Christmas. So it's that stained glass pattern. I don't know if I can recommend this pattern because I was a naive beginning cross stitcher, but it looks pretty good. I am stitching this on 16 count Aida, 2 strands. If I would start this again, I would definitely do a smaller count because this is going to be huge, but it does look really good. So this is the whole width of it, and it's a very long piece. I will have put what the pattern looks like as well. So I am gridding this like as I go, a page at a time. And I'm trying to do a lot of the black first, which is a lot. And then kind of go in with the fun colors, but it's a lot of confetti. But it looks really cool. I did work on this like a lot in the beginning of the year, but I haven't worked on it in a bit. But that is also on my WIP go board for next year. Okay, so this next WIP, this might be a UFO. Or I want to restart. I just didn't do it on the right fabric. So, that's my cat. So this one is called Ornament Castle, and it's from Etsy. It's by 2x2 stitch art, and I'm stitching this on 18 count Aida. I started this December 28th of 2021. So yeah, this is on just 18 count white Aida, and I'm stitching it with DMC 3857. So it's this like really deep burgundy, almost, it looks brown almost. I mean, it is, but. So I've gotten a decent chunk of this done. This is 5% done, and I worked about 5 hours and 23 minutes on this year. The problem I'm having with this, number one, I gave myself no margin. Number two, this is like the stiffest, you hear that ASMR? It is the stiffest Aida ever. And I'm not having fun because I'm doing 2 strands on 18 count. And if you are a stitcher on 18 count, you know that sometimes 2 strands is it, and sometimes 2 strands is not it. And on this, it is too much. It is hard to pull the thread through. It looks great. Like, it doesn't look too bulky, but it's not fun to stitch on. And I do really like this pattern, and I would like to maybe do it on even weave or Lugana. Maybe that would be more pleasurable to stitch. But yeah, so this might be a restart. Let me know what you guys think. I was also thinking of possibly taking this piece of fabric, and coffee tea dyeing it with the stitching it, because this is such a dark color that I don't think if I coffee tea dyed it for a while, it would really do anything to the actual color of this. And maybe that would make this a bit softer. It would not be white Aida anymore, and maybe would look cool. But I'm scared that that won't work, and I'm scared that it will like alter the color of this thread, and then when I keep working on it, it'll like have this one corner of like weird looking thread or darker looking thread. So let me know what you guys think. Should I just restart this? Like, I'm not having fun. So I have not worked on it in a while. So anyways, I'm sure some of you can relate to that. The next one I started for the year, this was my first 2022 start. This is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2022 Mystery SAL. It is a Dutch reproduction sampler, and I'm stitching this on 32 count coffee tea dyed linen. And I have worked on this a little bit since I last have showed it. But I'm gonna go ahead and just show this. This has I put my name in it, so this is it. So just to squeeze you in here to where I was working last, I had all of this done, and I had just started this little flower. So this week I did work on this more, and I got almost all of this vase, the top of this vase done. And yeah, I am stitching this with DMC 310, 1 strand over 2 linen squares. So it's definitely more of a primer, like sparser look, but I really like it. I'm obviously way behind on the SAL, but this is on my WIP go for next year. Okay, so that's number 5. So that was number 5. Number 6. This is the Fox and Rabbit Changing Seasons 2022 Stitch Along. I also started this on a whim because it is a free stitch along that they host on their website. And the frame came out, and I was like, oh, this looks fun. And then I got most of the frame done, and I kept going, but then I definitely lost steam on this. So I am incredibly far behind. But it's still really pretty and I would like to eventually finish it. So it is on my WIP go for next year. I'm stitching this on 18 count ivory Ada, and I did start this January 12th of 2022. And this is huge. This is ginormous. So I can't even like get the whole thing in, but yeah. So I am stitching 2 threads over 1 square of 18 count, and I'm using DMC 115, which is a variegated floss. And I am very close to being done with this square right here. Let me take you in a little bit closer. So this square I'm almost done with. I did finish this square, and then I obviously finished the whole top part where it says spring, and then I started summer. I finished this motif in the word summer. This came out in February, so this was like the second release after the border. The border is so cool. It's like these little arrows. But yeah, I am just like very, very far behind. This stitch along is a lot of stitching, and they released like the outer portion and it's so much stitching, but it's so beautiful. So anyways, it's on my WIP go board for next year. We love an interruption. And she always knocks these guys down. They've done nothing to you. Anyways, okay, so number 7, it's my 7th WIP. This one was I got it from Etsy. It's by Madison Patterns. I'm stitching it on 18 count by Ada, and it's just called a historical sampler, but it is like, and I'll have a picture up here. It is she's so rude. It's just like these little couples of like historically dressed people, and I just thought it was really cute. I feel like I did bite off more than I could chew though, because this is a huge piece of very stiff white Ada. But I did start this January 13th. I was just starting. That's what I was doing. This is 10.9% done. And I worked a total of 49 hours and 44 minutes on this year, and it's got about a little over 8,000 stitches in it. So again, this is like dirty, because you know what, white Ada is hard to keep clean. But yeah, so I left off, she has more dress to do, but these guys are pretty much done, except, you know, their feets. But yeah, I don't know, this one's really fun to do. It's fun to stitch. There's lots of different colors, and you get to like stitch one person at a time, which is kind of fun. There's no background or anything. There's just this like back stitch. But like, again, this is not getting, some of it, this is kind of softer than like over here, but it's just hard to wrangle is the best word for it. But yeah, it's still one of my WIPs. I did not put it on my WIP go board. So we'll see if I touch it next year. I don't know. Okay. The next few, let's see. I'm gonna try to go in order here. Let's see. Okay, this one's called the Halloween Moth. Okay, maybe I just call it that. It's the Halloween Moth sampler. I don't think these are on Etsy anymore. It's by Stitching Spell. So this is the pattern. And it is monochromatic. So I chose to stitch this one on black 18 count Ada with DMC 16. And as you can see, this is a one-day start, and I didn't touch it again. I started this on January 15th, 2022. I've only worked a total of 2 hours and 36 minutes on this, and it is 2.2% done. So yeah, that is that. I definitely want to keep stitching on this because I love Halloween, and it's a really cute pattern. So yeah, and the thread I was using for that is DMC 16. It's this very witchy green. So that was that. And then I had ordered, because I bought the other pattern that's supposed to go with it, but I had ordered this fabric as like a companion piece fabric, and it's this 18 count lime splash Ada, but it wasn't bright enough for me. It wasn't like giving the vision that I had. So I ended up buying a different pattern for this fabric. And it's called Halloween Mini Quaker by Happy Mood Point. And this is, again, on 18 count lime splash Ada I used DMC 310, but I'm using the pearl cotton ball because I didn't know what it was, and then I figured it out. But anyways, this is that. I've got a string hanging, but so I have done, I'm about 28% done with this pattern, and I spent a total of 7 hours and 11 minutes on this. But yeah, so I'm just using one strand of the pearl cotton, but it's kind of equivalent to 2 strands of regular DMC. So it's good coverage. And I like stitching with it. It's fun. I definitely want to finish this. This is on one of my WIP Go boards because I kind of made 2 WIP Go boards, which maybe I'll talk about. Well, basically it's kind of simple. It's just a regular WIP Go board, which is like for my bigger patterns. And then I did a smalls WIP Go board for smaller patterns that I want to work on too during the month. So anyways, that's that. And then what else did I do? I'm trying to go in order, but oh, here we go. Okay. So the next one I started, and I started this on January 26th. This is the Cryptid SAL by the WitchyStitcher. So I started this like very late in the game, so I was in no way able to catch up, but I do have the whole frame done, which is good. So I'm actually 41.5% done with this. I spent about 20 hours on it this year, and this is stitched on 28 count raw linen. So if you've watched my videos before, or maybe it was last video, Flosstube number 2, I had shown my finish of the Supernatural stitch along that I did join at the beginning of this year, or when it came out of this year, which was like July or something, I think. But anyway, so I have the full frame done, and then I have 3 whole creatures done. So I've got my moth band, my nightcrawler, and the Jersey Devil. So this is on my WIP Go board for next year. I also was low-key thinking, I was very easily able to keep up with the Supernatural stitch along because I had stitched the whole frame in the month of July, and then when she started releasing creatures, I was able to stitch a creature in 1 to 2 days when it was released. So like it would be released on a Friday, I would work on it that Friday night and either finish it or finish it the next morning on Saturday morning. So I'm kind of thinking, since I already have 3 creatures done, maybe the month of September and October, like every Friday or Saturday morning, I work on the Cryptid stitch along and try to get a creature done, because I know that I could knock out a finish on that. I just need to do it. Because again, those creatures are like very, it is a lot of DMC 310, like doing each frame and everything, but it is like very doable and manageable. So I'm thinking of doing that, but it is also on my WIP Go board. So we'll see if it gets pulled earlier in the year, like I'll see how much I can get done. And then maybe in the months of September, October, I will work on it like once a week. to try to get that done. Okay, the next one I worked on is by Night Spirit Studio. This is a freebie on their website. So like go to their first of all, follow them, go to their Instagram, and you can find plenty of freebies on their site. But this is called Frimp, and I'm stitching this on 18 count black Aida. I started this at the end of January on the 30th of 2022. I worked a total, I don't think this is totally accurate. It says I worked a total of like 2 hours on this year, but I feel like I worked more on that, but I don't remember. And then I am 50.6% done with it. So this is on my smallest WIP Go board for next year, just to finish it. I just have to finish these, and then the tail. And yes, it is a Furby shrimp entity. And I love it. I'm stitching this for my partner. Yeah. He really liked it, so I was like, okay, I'll stitch it. Also, it's just fun to stitch, and it's cute. I definitely think I'll finish this in a hoop. Yeah, because it's like the perfect size for this size hoop. Anyways, so that is that. That is very doable for a finish next year. The next one I stitched is related to the other one, the moth sampler I showed. This one I'm calling just like, I mean, I think they call it sampler 13, but I just call this like my skull sampler because it's got a big skull in the center and a nice big bat on it as well. So again, this is by Stitching Spell. I got this on Etsy. I don't think it's available any longer. And I started this February 5th, and this was the one I wanted to stitch on that Lime Splash Aida, but it wasn't giving the vision. So I ended up getting Rit dye and dyeing 18 count Aida this neon green, which it's fun. It is very fun. As you can see, I worked on this for like one day. I'm stitching with 2 strands of DMC 310 and this is 18 count. So basically the idea is that I'm gonna have 2 pieces, like companion pieces. So this will be stitched all in like really neon-y lime green, and this will be stitched in black. And anyways, they'll be next to each other and they'll love each other for the rest of their lives. So then I really love green and black, like for Halloween. I think it's really fun instead of orange and black. I mean, I love all things Halloween, so it doesn't really matter what color, but this was just the vision that I had. So yeah, that is what I got done on that. It is, I don't think either of these are on WIP Go because I just didn't have room for them, but I do want to try to touch those this coming year, but we'll see. Okay, the next WIP that I started, I did get carried away and I got a kit from the Historical Sampler Company, and I got the Spring Band Sampler, and this I started February 6th. So this is the pattern. So it's March, April, May. And of course they have one for all the months. So this is just the spring one. I just chose this one first. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. Autumn's my favorite season, but in winter, I love winter too. But I don't know. I got this one for some reason. And of course, like, this is it. This is all I have. This was like a one-day start. It is on 32 count linen that came in the kit. Yeah, it doesn't say, like, anyways. Here's the thing. This just isn't calling to me. And like, I now know that I don't want to stitch the rest of them. So I don't know. Part of me wants to give this to someone that actually wants to stitch it. But yeah, because I have all of the kit floss. They're all on. They were on a card, but the card was like kind of flimsy. But I could put these on nicer floss drops for someone. I don't know, I'm just like not in love with it, and I don't really want to stitch on it. It's beautiful, and I think it's just stitched, it's just DMC that, I mean, okay, not just DMC. It is beautiful DMC. The colors are really pretty, and that border is gorgeous. Like, I don't know, and it's very doable. Like, this is not that big of a it's not that much stitching, I don't think. Again, I only worked on it one day, so I don't know if you can really ask me for accurate. I don't know, but yeah, I started that February 6th. That might be a future, does somebody want this WIP? Does somebody want to adopt this WIP? I would feel much better about that. This next one I started on February 7th, so the next day. This is an Owl Forest embroidery pattern, and it is Pride and Prejudice Longbourn. So this was part 1. They have several of these Pride and Prejudice patterns, and I do really love this, but again, like I worked on it for one day. So this is stitched on, I believe, 32 count linen. I did not iron this one, because again, I don't have like anything done on it. So yeah, this is it. This is on my WIP go for next year, because I do want to stitch this. I do like it. The DMC is really pretty. Yeah, that's a goal. I do want to stitch that. I'm like, this is a therapy session for myself. This is like, kind of nice for me to like go through these things, but any hoozles. Okay, this is my 15th WIP, if you were keeping count. I started this February 11th, and it is the Wizard of Oz stitch along from Owl Forest Embroidery. I'm stitching this on 32 count, like, leaf linen from Jackson Fabric Arts on Etsy. And I am 11.7% done with this. I spent a total of 7 hours and 40 minutes on this pattern. So I am at the bottom here. That is all I have done. It is so, first of all, this is a free stitch along on Owl Forest Embroidery's website, and I am stitching it in the DMC conversion that's provided by them. And yeah, I really actually like working on this, but I think what happened is I started here with the cabin, the house, and then I got to Dorothy, and her face, legs, and arms are all over one. And that was my first time doing that, so that was a lot. And then same with her face and her arms. And then stitching all this white. I think I just kind of got burnt out on this, but I'm excited to continue stitching on this and getting to the other parts. This is, this is on my WIP go board for next year, so. And this fabric is so nice. I think she uses hemp linen for all of her things. And it's really pretty modeling, really easy, soft to stitch on. I really like it, so I would definitely recommend Jackson Fabric Arts. Okay, the next one I have shown before. This is the Fruits of Plenty Stitch Along by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was the 2021 Stitch Along. And I started this February 15th of 2022. I don't have updated stats for this because I actually worked on it for the past like 3 days, so bear with me. I think I'm like almost 9% complete with it, I think last time I looked, and I've definitely worked over like 25 or 26 hours on this. So, this is it. hard to see what I'm doing here. So this is one of my WIP Go calls for this month of December. So this was definitely, I've gotten a lot of progress on this. Last time I showed it to you, it was just this, I had this top part done and the bird done and like a couple of the berries, but now I have a lot more complete. I was working on this section last night, which I was scared to stitch because it's a lot of stitching. We're using negative space here, but it is actually pretty soothing to stitch. This is stitched on 40 count blush, just as Weigart linen. And yeah, I'm doing it in 2 shades of DMC. If you really want to know those, I do have those written somewhere. Well, I have them somewhere. If you want to DM me or leave a comment, I will let you know. This is also a huge piece of linen that I definitely need to cut down, but I'm too nervous to do that. So, but yeah, this is also my WIP Go board for next year, because obviously that's going to be years long project. Yes, I am doing the 2023 Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along as well, even though I have 2 on the go, because I can and I will. The next WIP I have are the 12 Days of Christmas. You could stitch them all as one, but I'm stitching them as ornaments by Satsuma Street. I started these February 27th, 2022. I actually have the first day of Christmas done, and it's just kind of sitting there like that. I'm stitching this on 18 count white Aida. And yeah, so I already got the first day done. I have not started any of the other days, but it's very cute. I really like, these are really bright and fun. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, I do really like that. I'm a sucker for 12 Days of Christmas series. So I want to continue stitching these. This was like a 1-day stitch, 1 or 2 day stitch. So I'm going to keep going with these, and I will eventually turn them all into just little flat ornaments. But yeah, so that one I'm counting as a WIP until all 12 are done, which I could make it easier on myself and count that as a finish for the year. Technically kind of is, you know, I finished 1 of them out of 12, but alas, I will count them as WIP still. All right, the next one, this is number 18. This one is called the Raccoon. Oh, I do have the, hold on. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings. This was the number 4 A Year in the Woods pattern that they released this year. This series was really cute. I did only get this one, and I purchased the bat. I think might have been from October or something, or September, I can't remember. But I'm actually stitching this for my sister. So she loves raccoon. I mean, who doesn't? But yeah. So I'm doing this in the called for threads, but I think it called for 40 count Velt linen by Picture This Plus. I don't have what this is, but it's not Velt, but it is a Picture This Plus. It's very similar. So this is all I have done. This is 36 count. And I've gotten all the flowers done on this side in the little church house thing. So I only worked on this maybe a couple of days this year. Clearly not that motivated to get it done. Haven't even started stitching the raccoon yet, but this is on my WIP Go board for next year. And yeah. Okay, the next WIP I have also shown on my channel before, I think on my first Flosstube. This is the Mary Morgan's sampler by Fox and Rabbit. I am stitching this on 40 count platinum linen. I started it March 8th of 2022. And I think I worked on this possibly the most this year. I clocked in 64 hours and 24 minutes on this, and I'm 36.6% done. And that equals to about 11,308 stitches. So I have not worked on this since I last showed it. And I don't know if I went over in my last video, but I did change the colors on the end of this alphabet because it had called for white, like in here, but it was on like the outsides of some of them or whatever. Anyways, I felt like the white blended in with this fabric too much. When it's on the inside of the colors, it looks great. It definitely pops, but yeah. So I went with different colors. This I'm calling my Scooby-Doo portion of the alphabet. And I think I changed the TUV and definitely the KLM, but anyways. So this is where I'm at. I have already done the whole width of this, so I could definitely cut this fabric, but this is definitely on my WIP Go board for next year. It is one of my favorite pieces to work on. I'm doing DMC 1 thread over 2 linen squares. The colors in this are just so bright and fun to work with. So definitely gonna keep working on that. But yeah, I would love to push. It's not gonna be finished next year. I like highly doubt it, but it could definitely be a finish in 2024. I feel like we'll see. All right, my next WIP this is number 20, I think. This is Empress Eugenie Surrounded by Ladies. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I started this March 18th of 2022. I am 2.3% done. I worked 37 hours on this year, and it's got about 7,600 stitches. So yeah, I'm almost done. This is the first page and I'm almost done with it. I just have a little bit of fill in at the bottom there. So not much to say about this. I mean, I'm stitching this on 25 count, easy grid, 2/1 half stitch or 10 stitch, whatever you want to say. But yeah, so that's that. I mean, it's on my WIP Go board. That's one of those patterns, charts that is going to take me 50 years to complete, and I'm okay with that because it's fun. All right, the next WIP is, there's a Priscilla Dawes. This is charted. This was a release by Hemlock and Rye Stitchery, which is Julie from Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. I love every pattern that she is coming out with. This is a reproduction sampler, but similar to Mary Morgan's, it's got just a wonderfully bright palette. And I did work on this a lot this year. So I worked on it for 33 hours and 17 minutes. It is 42.7% done, so almost halfway there. I started this on May 1st of 2022. And yes, it is very much on my WIP Go board for next year. I would love to push for a finish on this next year. I know that I couldn't finish it in the month that it was called, but it's just so fun to stitch on. I'm stitching this on 32 count, like antique white linen, 2 strands of DMC over 2. Yep, doing everything is called for. And she does have two different color palettes for this pattern. So she charted it from the back, which are these brighter colors, and then she also charted it from the front, which is a more primitive, subdued color palette, which is also incredibly pretty. But yeah, I definitely want to stitch that, and I also have plans to start more of her patterns in the next year. So yes. All right, I'm not even close to being done. Okay, the fur bat. So this is another, it was kind of a freebie from Night Spirit Studio. I started this May 6th, 2022. And I believe I donated to the Austin, like, bat rescue something. This was a charity pattern. Obviously, this was a one-day start. So I just got the face of the little fur bat done. This is stitched on 18 count black Ada, and this is on my smalls WIP go board for next year. So yeah, that is that. Not much to say about that. The next one that I started, I kind of did like a mini, like, May, like, start all the things for just myself. And this I started, this is Possum Song by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. I started this May 7th, and I worked on this one day. I'm stitching this on 32 count, like, mustard Murano or something, even weave. As you can see, I have just the little feetsies done, as I like to say. Just the little possum feetsies. That's all I've got done. This is on my WIP go board for next year because I love this pattern. I think Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, I couldn't say that. She's almost done with it. I know D's 20 Stitches, they have almost, I feel like they're close to a finish too. And they're stitching it on some really pretty fabric. But yeah, this is definitely one of Mama Witch Cross Stitch's most popular patterns, and it's because it's cutest button. So the next one I started in May, on the 13th of May, this is called Wicked Siblings by also Mama Witch Cross Stitch. Again, this is a one-day start, and this Ada is very dirty, but this is 18 count black Ada, and I just started right in the middle, that little sailor man. That's it, that's all I got done. This is on my WIP go board, I think, for next year. So we'll get a little bit more done on that. All right, the next one is another 12 Days of Christmas ornament collection. You can also stitch this all as one. This is by Vivsters on Etsy. Again, I don't know if I can, like, recommend, I don't know. Anyways, they have a 12 Days of Christmas ornament collection. And I started the first day, and as you can see, I got nowhere near finishing it. This border is actually a lot, and I cut off some of the border as well. But yeah, this was the first day of Christmas, so it's like a little partridge in a pear tree. So yeah, is that what it is? So I also had to do some color changes on the greens because the greens were too close together, like the background and or the tree and the leaves, and yeah. So, and this is just 18 count fancy oatmeal Ada. Just the fanciest of Adas, as you can see. So again, I'm counting that as a WIP because obviously it's not done, and also I'm gonna count it as a WIP till I get all 12 done. Because yeah, that's who I am. The next one, WIP, this is number 26. This is Monthly Moons by Top Knot Stitcher. I started this May 25th of 2022, and I have finished the January moon. This is stitched on the called for 20 count gray sparkle Ada, and I have started February's moon. And my idea for this is I'm gonna stitch six in a row, like here, and then 6 in a row here, and then I'm gonna make it like a little wall hanging situation, I think. I don't think I'm gonna put anything under each moon. I think I'm just gonna leave it as is, and I will know, or people can guess like what month it is. But anyways, this was very fun. I did it 1 strand of DMC over 1 square of 20 count. And yeah, that's that. So I'm definitely gonna keep going on that one. They're very fun to, because they're like full coverage, but they're so small. I don't know, they're fun to do. All right, my next WIP is, I started this May 27th. This is 1844 Lady Man by Bendy Stitchy Designs. And I'm stitching this on the called for fabric, which is 28 count milk and honey linen by Fiber on a Whim. So this little guy is just calling to me, waiting for me to fill in that sleeve. I did fill in, you can see the legs here. It's kind of blending in with the linen, but that's okay. I love this one. I worked on it only for like 2 days though, and then I put it away. But yeah, this is on my WIP board for next year. I definitely want to, I want to get to those butterflies for real. All right, the next one I started is 1905 Bird, also by Bendy Stitchy Designs, and I started this on the 29th of May. And I am, oh wait, let me show you. Hold on. Oh my gosh. First of all, this is 1844 Lady Man. So, yeah, I started in the middle, so sorry. And then I forgot that I had these. I have a lot of PDFs, so it's hard for me to remember when I have the print. But this is 1905 Bird, and I love this one. I have the Sulky pack. Sorry. I have the Sulky pack for this. This was my first time using Sulky, and I really like it. And this is stitched on 36 count baked clay linen by Fox and Rabbit, which was also the call for, I believe. So this is over halfway done for sure. This is on my board for a finish next year, because I could definitely finish it next time I start stitching on it. So yeah, the big bird is all done. That thing of cherries is all done. So I just have, I think, 1 more leaf or 2 more leaves, a cherry, and then the birds and the little trees at the bottom of it. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ones I've worked on this year. It was really fun. All right, number 29. This one I've also shown on my channel, and I've also worked on it since I last showed it. This is Move Forward in Love by Modern Folk Embroidery. I started this as my Pride Month start on June 1st, and I have worked a total of 17 hours and 3 minutes on this. And this is where I am. Excuse all of the strings. So I'm stitching this on 18 count Rainbow Ada by Stitchy Ferret. And the last time I showed, I think I had like most of this done, and I think I had like maybe that much done. So I have worked on all of this. Yeah. So that's it. All right. WIP number 30. This is Haunted Carousel by the WitchyStitcher. This was a Patreon pattern. I believe it is available now for purchase on her Etsy and website. I started this June 11th of 2022. I've only worked about 2 hours and 22 minutes on it, and I'm 8.4% done. Let's see if I've got, yeah. So I am stitching this on 32 count linen that I dyed myself with some like pearl gray and a little bit of blue RIP dye to make this color. And yeah, so I started in the middle, and I've got part of the carousel done, and then I started this little skeleton horse guy. But yeah, this is also on my WIP board for next year, because technically that could be like, I don't know if it could be a finish, but I could definitely get some progress on that. All right, number 31. This was a restart, actually. I had started it earlier in the year on 18 count white Ada. Wasn't happy with the way it was stitching up, so I restarted it. Let's see if I have the cover photo. Probably not, but I'm gonna look. Okay, so this is the beloved and much stitched Long Dog Sampler Pandemic. And I do have the cover photo. So this is the pattern. It is huge, as we all know, but we love it. And I'm stitching this on 22 count white Ada. So I went from 18 count to 22 count. And I love it. I'm stitching this with one thread of DMC over one square, and I'm doing my own little color explosion here. So I picked out like 6 colors or something, and I'm just plugging them in where they feel right. So I've got a green, I've got lavender. This is DMC 16. It's one of my favorite greens. I've got 2 different pinks, so a darker pink and a brighter like hot pink. I've got a turquoise, and then I've got like an aqua, and then I have this dark gray bluey purple. So yeah, I am stitching this from a paper pattern. I wish I had gotten a PDF, but it's okay. I definitely will. This is on my WIP Go board for next year. So, and this is kept in a little project bag I made with the most ridiculous fabric I've ever found, and I love it. So this is my like elementary school party at a bowling alley fabric. All right, I gotta get through this. This I have also shown on my channel. This is Mill Hill Wanda's Wands. I started this June 21st of this year. This is what it's gonna look like. I'm stitching it on the provided perforated paper with the provided thread. Can I speak? No. This is not gonna be. Yeah, I mean, not much to say about it. I have shown this before. It's fun to stitch on. It's great for when I'm in the car. So I might bring this with me home. We'll see. Because I'm leaving today to go home for Christmas, actually. All right, the next one is the Fitting artwork by Victor Schramm. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I have shown this before. I started this July 18th, 2022. I am 0.7% done. I've worked a total of 9 hours and 31 minutes on this, and I have a total of 2,567 stitches. So I've not worked on this since I showed it. So it's just this nice little block of gray stitches. I'm stitching this on 28 count, easy grid, 2/1 half stitch. That's it. Not gonna spend a lot of time on that one. Okay. This is number 34. So I'm stitching this for my dad. So Dad, if you're actually, I'm gonna tell you not to watch this because just don't look at the screen or listen. Fast forward. Okay. So this is, I don't have who this is by, which is terrible. I'll put it on the screen here. This is called Office Characters. I started this August 15th. It's still in the hoop. And I'm stitching this on 18 count Ada that I dyed myself with Rit dye. And all I have done now is Michael and some of Dwight's face and hair. That's all I have done. My dad really loves The Office, so I'm stitching that for him. That's not on my WIP Go because it's a gift, so technically I just kind of need to like get my butt in gear and just work on it. All right, the next one, this number 35. I don't know if I've shown this. This is Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. Very popular. I'm stitching this on 40 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Queen Crepe Myrtle. This was their April color of the month. I'm in their fabric club. Anyways, I'm also stitching this on, oh, look at that. That's great. I'm stitching with the Called for Classic Colorworks and DMC 310. And this is all I have done because I worked on it for one day. But it'll look really pretty on this fabric. I love the fabric it's called for is murky, and I've never stitched on murky, and it's beautiful. But I had this and I was like, this is perfect. I don't know, green and purple with a lot of what is gonna be mostly black stitching. Like, I don't know, I think it'll be great. So yeah, I have that much done, which is like 3.8%, and I've worked a total of 28 minutes on this. I don't know about that. But yeah, I started this September 5th. This is definitely on my WIP go for next year, and I'm keeping this in a project bag I made with some Michaels fabric because it was very cute fabric. Sorry for the zippers. Sorry for the zippering. It's so, I don't know, I just really love this fabric. I made another project bag, well, this next project bag I made out of the same fabrics, but in reverse. So anywho, the next WIP is It's Time for Halloween. This by Witch's Garden Craft. I will put it down below. This was a free stitch along on the Snarky and Modern Facebook group, and I have shown this on my channel before. This is not on my WIP go for next year because I feel like maybe when it gets closer to Christmas, nope, not Christmas, Halloween time, I will pull this out and try to get a finish on it. But yeah, I'm using 2 strands of DMC. I believe this is 16 count Ada that I dyed myself with RIP dye. It's very nice and modeled dye job. Go me. And I have plenty of fabric to do some smalls on this, I think. But yeah, so that is that. The next one is, this is called Peretta's Trick. This is by Night Spirit Studio. This was a Patreon pattern, and I'm stitching this on 28 count Murano that I dyed myself, very almost black color. And this is a 1-day start. I don't even know which way it goes. I'll be honest. I'll figure it out. But I'm actually doing this in half stitches. I'm gonna do the whole thing in half stitches. And I'm gonna do 2 threads of DMC Blanc over 1 half stitch. And I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory why I'm doing that. I think it'll, number one, give it a great look. It's one of those patterns that very much lends itself to doing that. Night Spirit Studio also just released like a vampire one that's like not the same, but it's a similar like style, and I want to do that. I want to do that in the same way. I want to do it half stitches on smaller count, but we'll see if that happens. Okay, this is number 38. This is a very vintage pattern. I want to know, I feel like I found out what year this was from. I want to say it was the late 80s, but I could be wrong. Anyways, it's a Teresa Wenzler. This is the only Teresa Wenzler I've looked at and thought, I want to stitch that so bad. I have a thing for carousels, specifically pink 90s, late 80s carousels. I have some Christmas ornaments that were from my mom that I love, but yeah, so I'm stitching this on 32 count pink linen that I dyed myself, and that is all I have done. So.
Yay.
I'm just gonna film in front of you because I
didn't
don't care.
bring any of my cross-stitching projects.
No, she did not. I'm doing my WIP parade, so it's very important.
Means.
Okay. Well, I'm almost done. Okay, I wasn't done talking about this. So this has, first of all, I'm finding it very hard to work on because I need to photocopy it because it's a very old pattern. But this has a lot of blends in it, like a lot of blends and 3/4 stitches and all the things. So I'm just having a hard time keeping track of where I am. So I need to get to a copier stat to copy this so I can have a working copy on that. But anyways, my next WIP, this is number 39. This is a freebie by Night Spirit Studio called Knifey. I started this September 28th, which is my birthday, and yeah, I am about 17.6% done. So, oh my gosh, I don't have like a good, it says this is how I get home nicely. It's not, I'll have the full thing here. I did accidentally get glue on this, so that's kind of upsetting, but it's stitched on 18 count black Aida, and this is a quote from it's lyrics from a band called Amel and the Sniffers, which is one of my favorite bands, and we saw them live this year, so yeah. So that is cool, and you can get that from her website as well. All right, gosh, good God. All right, this is number 40. This is The Dark Queen of the Earth Stitch Along by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I started this September 29th because I was waiting for the fabric to come in. Took quite a while. I was one of the unlucky few that their orders got lost. I have worked on this since I've shown it last, so I am done with part 3 and I am working on part 4. This is stitched on 32 count linen in the shade Nightshade, I think, by Under the Sea Fabrics. 2 strands of DMC over 2. Yes. Yeah, so last time I showed it to you, I was finishing up this, which I I think so. And then I just started this part. And I'm nowhere near, I'm not gonna catch up. Because you know what, and that's okay. Because I'm doing 15,000 stitch-alongs. All right, the next one, oh, on my birthday, I did like a bunch of starts, like of smalls. And so this one is called Witchy Bathroom, I think. It's by, oh my gosh, who is it by? Stitchy Princess on Etsy. Yeah, this was a 1-day start. So there's nothing done on it, but it's cute. It's stitched on, this is 32 count lime Lugana. But yeah, this is on my smalls WIP Go board for next year to work on because it's super cute. Okay, the same day, I started Live Green by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. This is a free pattern on her Facebook group. And I'm stitching this on 32 count, like, I don't know, Lugana, Murano or something with these little flowers on it that are printed on it. Obviously, I only worked on this for like an hour and that is all I got done. It's the frog's mouth. This is also on my smalls WIP Go board for next year to work on. These are gonna be fast. Okay, the next one is also by Night Spirit Studio. It was a Patreon pattern. I don't know which way this goes, but it is called Nadia. And that's all I have started. That's it. It's beautiful, it's great. This is stitched on 18 count black Aida. That's also my WIP Go board for next year. All right, this one is called Scrying Mirror. This is by, oh no. This is in, do I have it anywhere near me? I might. This was in the Divination pattern collection from Starlight Stitchery. And this pattern is by Stitch Sprout. And that is what it looks like. So I'm stitching this on some leftover 18 count Aida that I coffee tea dyed and baked myself. And as you can see, it started in the middle. And that is all I have done. Cute, cute. All right, I'm gonna stuff these all back in one project bag. Can you hear that shame that I have? Yeah. Okay. Wow, that was a lot. The next one's, no, the next one is Stitch Along. I have shown this before and I have worked on it since I last shown it. This is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Halloween Wreath Stitch Along. I'm stitching this on 28 count cashel linen, and I don't remember the name of it. And I have parts 1, 2, and 3 done. So the parts that are what I worked on since you last saw it was this bow and this little section. So that is it on that one. And this is gonna, it's a stitch along. It's gonna take me all the way till next year, I think. So that'll be a finish next year. All right. The next ones. I ordered the Haunted America Fangirl Fiber box, and I decided because the box was an advent box and it made kits for all of these patterns. So I decided one day to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I started every single one of them. And I only put in like a length of thread or 3 links of thread or something in each of them. So yeah. The first one, wait, I have the, oh Lord. Okay. So I do have the patterns up here with me here. Hold on. All right. So the first one I worked on is Woman in White. And this is by the Laurel Witch. This is like a mock-up of what it's gonna look like. I'm stitching this on all of the, obviously the called for. They're all just in Ziploc bags. Like I actually don't know which one's which. I think this is it. I think it's all 32 count, like Lugana or something. But I started this one in the middle, and I think this is the right way. I'm telling you, I did 3 lengths of thread in each of these, and that's all I have done. But all of these are gonna be on my Smalls WIP Go board for next year. So. Okay, so that's that. The next one was, let's see here. The next one is Oxford Saloon. This is by Cobweb and Rose. And again, I put 3 links of thread in it, so I don't even know if this is it. I did start, yeah, I started this one in the corner. And that is all I have done. Beautiful. Great. Love to see it. All right. The next one I started is by Park Hopper Bart, and this is called Bonaventure Cemetery. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Probably not. Beautiful pattern. It's just my sister interrupting my WIP parade. It's kind of rude, but. All right, so this is stitched on 32 count. I put 3 links of DMC 310 in this, and that is all I have done. But yeah. And it came with all of the floss and the fabric and the pattern, so it was a good box, I will say. I enjoyed it. The next one I did was, hold on, I have it somewhere. Yes, this one is by Uncanny Kari and D's 20 Stitches. This is the Cursed Cabinet. This was possibly my favorite of the box. I don't know, they're all really good, I'll be honest. Okay, this one is on 32 count, and it's this really pretty, anyways. I started at the tippity top of the cabinet, and that is all I have done. Okay. We're almost done. That was number 49, WIP 49. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. Okay, the next one I did from the box was this one. This is called Patience Worth's Message. And it's by Darlene and Whimsy Designs. And that is the little mock-up of it. And this again is on 32 count, like gray, almost white Lugana. This one looks like more significant progress, but yeah. I just started on the border there, and that is it. This is the last of that box, and this is Winchester House by Bendy Stitchy. This is the pattern. I really like this pattern. Also, it's a cool story. They were all cool stories, but this one was, I liked the story of this one. Stitching this on 32 count, like gray Lucana. And that is all I have done. I like the border on this. It's really easy to stitch.
I like that color.
You like this color?
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yes. You got notes?
Oh yeah, I got notes, girl. I got notes. I gotta tell the people. All right, we are in the home stretch.
Oh, God.
I think I only have 2 more. I do. Okay, this is number 52. This is Black Cats and Spooky Bats by Park Hopper Bart. I started this on Roxy Floss Co. linen. This is 40 count peanut brittle. And that is all I have. And I'm using Roxy Floss Co. floss. This was a 1-day start. Perfect. My cat's laying on everything. Oh my God. All right. Oh, and I started this. This was my Halloween start this year, so October 31st. All right. This is my last WIP. And I just started it. I started this December 2nd this month. I am 53.3% done, which I don't think is accurate because I took out the background of this chart. This is Pretty Christmas Village by, I can't remember the name. I'll put it here. But I'm stitching this on 40 count Mermaid Mule linen by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And I'm doing that because I'm not stitching all that blue background. I also took the white that's supposed to be like the snow on the ground, and I actually did that in half stitches with 2 strands of white floss. And I think it looks great. And also cut down a lot of stitching time. The pink tree in the middle is almost done. And so I just need to stitch the houses around it and the snow. And yeah. That is it. Okay. So that's 53 WIPs. With a possibility of restarting one of them possibly. Or UFOing it. I don't know. Yeah. So that is my WIP parade. I think I'm actually, I might go ahead and put this out before another Flosstube. My next Flosstube episode, I will talk about my 2023 plans, my WIP Go boards, and yes, and I have haul and lots of things. But anyways, for now, I'm going to leave you guys with this WIP parade. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see the progress I have next year. And thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, loving me, loving you. I don't know. Yeah, so thanks. I also want to give a shout out to everyone that has DM'd me and commented and all the things, and I've gotten a lot of support from fellow Flosstubers that are that I watch all the time, so it was very, very exciting to get messages from them. And yeah, I'll probably talk a little bit more about it in my next Flosstube, but for now, that is all I will leave you with. Have a happy holidays, enjoy this time of year, and eat some good food. Bye!